Well, good morning. I am Buck, Sawdust Solutions, and this is Mornings in the Shop. We're doing a 5-day series of coming in the mornings and talking to the camera. And we thought we would do the 5 days, and then we'll assess it. What I'm looking at now, we'll probably switch to doing them on Fridays. So I have my projects that I filmed during the week. They come out on Monday mornings. So if I can do one of these on Fridays is what I'm looking at right now. But it does help me just to uncut it, just come in here and talk and, and that kind of thing. And it does help me out a lot. And with the feedback I'm getting, it's good actually. But yesterday I worked on these spinning tops with the strings, and you can probably look for that come boy, it's scheduled to come out Monday morning, 7 a.m. So today what I thought we'd do would look at some of my jigs that I've got for the table saw. Because woodworking for any length of time at all. Jigs are I like jigs because it's a way to get repeatable cuts. Say you needed 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 of the same cut, and you got a jig, you can just batch them out right fast. Cutting tenons. I've got one of the things I've got here is I call it a fence extender. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll know that I've used this thing. If you have a situation to where you've got a cut with a board that's pretty tall, let's say you're putting a taper on it or anything like that, you've got a lot more fence right here to register off of. And to me, you can get you a push block like this right here. I mean, you got a lot to register off of. To me, it's a lot safer to having this thing. Also, it can double as a flush trim. In other words, you bring it over to where you just cut into the side of and then when you come down through there, you can flush trim, or you got a situation where you need a 1/16 of an inch, you can expose just 16th inch of your blade. It's good for that, but it's easy to put on. It's made exactly to fit the fence. You got to play this way, usually when all your motion's in one direction. So, but it don't have any play side to side. And to me, that is a real good jig. Well, I know I said I'd do this uncut, but the camera shut off on me. I went through this whole thing, and it wasn't filming nothing. Well, it is what it is, I guess. Golly bum. But anyway, we were talking about jigs for the table saw. I got the small parts is what concerns me, because you got to get so far in there, and a lot of times I can batch out, and I take this little it's a crosscut sled for the table saw. It does a good job. Batch some of this stuff out. But a lot of times, what you can do, you can batch them all out, and then if there's sides of little boxes, something's going to be seen, I'll take them over there and take the plane, get on my shooting board, and take the tool marks out. Because this is so much quicker, and I enjoy the mechanized part of it, and I enjoy the hand tool with the shooting boards and whatnot. But the thing about it is, what I have noticed that, I like CNC. It's just an area where I can put someone's name on something, personalize it and stuff like that. But then there's traditional woodworkers, they wouldn't have one of them things anywhere near them. To me, it's just a tool. And something else I've noticed, the people who like lathe turning, like I turned those tops yesterday, a lot of times they got a lathe, and most of them have a bandsaw, and that's it. Every once in a while, somebody to have a drill press, something like that. But to me, I like it all. I like being able to batch out some pieces here, and then go in there to my hand plane and shooting board, and then fine tune it, get the tool marks off and whatnot. So I like the whole thing, the hand tool, the mechanized. I mean, it makes racket, makes sawdust, but you can batch out a lot of stuff pretty quick. And that's where a little old crosscut sled, I'd like to make me a big one. There's times that a big one would be handy, but I use that little fella a lot for these little small projects and whatnot. And I tell you another crosscut sled I got, and I've used this quite a bit. I'm gonna rig up to where I've got let me get you in here where you can see. What I've got here is a 1/4-inch groove. All right, and what I do, it was a box, but anyway, you clamp that in right there, and you make your box joints. I made it a little taller right here, because the sides were pretty tall and had a little more support. So what I do, I'll just lay this thing back, and I'll ride on it. That's a 1/4-inch box joint and 2 blades. On my dado stack, that's what I will do. For instance, if I need a 3/8, which is the most common in drawers and whatnot, so it's the same thing, but I take 3/8, it's 2 blades, 1 chipper, and a 4,000 spacer. So on my dado stack, I know exactly what to put in there to match what I've got here. And that makes it awful handy. And I also got this right here. Box joints. There's nothing wrong with box joints. The thing about it is, when I can, I'll make the dovetails, but so I've got the 1 blade wide, and I call these little things finger joints. Some of them call everything finger joints. Some call them all box joints. But you're taking a little bitty, and it's pretty neat. Whole lot of glue surface when you do it that way. A whole lot of glue surface. Well, I tell you something else though. While we're doing this, everyone needs thin strips where you line this thing up and you bring your pieces in. Say you're gonna need some thin strips right here. Get it set to where you want it with 1/8 inch or whatever you need. You can zip a bunch of them out pretty quick with that. So I made that handle. Keep my hand away from that blade. Yeah, sure do. All right, I made this. Remember that prairie box I keep talking about? I'm gonna bring it down here and show that to you probably tomorrow. Cause I made one for my wife. She got it on the coffee table. But this is what some call Tenon Jig. What I do, get y'all where y'all see. I made this for them tops. I put taper all the way around the tops, kind of like a shaker style deal. And then I fixed it where you could clamp that dude in there and get it safe. You come over here, bring your blade out, put it at the angle you're looking for. And usually I'll get over here out of line of fire, and we can just come down through there and fix that top all the way around this thing. it'll hold that thing in place. And yeah, and around through there you'd go. And also, this works as a tenon jig, cutting tenons. Where it comes in, if you say you got a long board, this thing will support that thing. You know, you can put your clamp right here, and get it safe, and go on about your business. Then you take your cross cut to cut shoulders. Then you take your shoulder planes and all that to fine tune it. Batching out. You got a jig, you can batch out a bunch of parts you need. Like chest of drawers, you got a lot of drawers. So you want to batch out a bunch of stuff. Making the puzzle table. I threw this jig together to and all them. If y'all seen that video on that puzzle table, what it was is around the top and the drawers, I made miter joints. So I had a 90 right here. I just cut it in two and placed it in here and got as close as I could. It actually hit real good. But anyway, what you do, you cut right here, and then you come to this side, you got your length set, you can batch them things out. So if it's, say, a half a degree off here, this and here would be half a degree off the other way, so it wind up matching perfectly, because your next one will come in and do the same thing. I might, when I throw something together, if I keep using it, what I normally do is I'll do a good job. You know, make one nice. But I found this on there, and I can't remember the guy's name. But anyway, we do a segmented turning. That goes right there for your length. If y'all are familiar with that, you cut these wedges, called a wedgie sled. Then what you do, you come in and you make your segments, for instance. So I've started one right there. I'm going to turn some segmented bowls. I don't have any. They usually leave here. But to dial one in, I do a little bit of practicing. So I put all that together and that. See, but you can do any kind of mix and match, and your imagination's your limit right there. But you get in here and you get your length set. The length, when you're figuring on the length, it's the length of these, each segment, which dictate the diameter. Shorter the length here, smaller the diameter. And what you can do in another mix and match, you can set, that's 16 segments. In other words, what you got, each one of these is a segment. You go around, if 16 segments, what this is, 16 is 360 degrees. You can set a 12, 10, or anything you want right there. It's about time to do some more of that. You just get it all set up right here, and you do your segments. And the thing about it is, you keep your hands back away from it, and safety first. I tell you, you're talking about jigs. This ain't a table saw jig, but I had a weird angle, and I clamped that together, and I was able to clamp it and hold pressure on it with these little old jigs. But it was like 52 degrees or something like that. It was odd, and I was putting something together, and that's what it wound up being. Some kind of odd angle. But yeah, jigs, you're a woodworker. Jigs is, You know, jigs are your friend. They sure are. And then you get into a stump, what'll happen here is you rig up a jig like kind of like in a way like I did the legs for that library table where I put them dowels in. You can and hold your drill straight. That was a jig. What happens is you can make it all four legs look the same and put the dowels where you need to. It took me about 15 minutes to make that jig. And projects of any size, usually there'll be some kind of jig involved. But so there we are. This is mornings in the shop with Buck. I really don't know what I got today. I finished up that video on them spinning tops. What I've got coming is the prairie box I keep talking about. I'll bring it one down here tomorrow and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's a nice little box. The ones that I've gave it to in the past seem to really like them. Thing about it is, it's been 3 years since I made one. So I got to get the cobwebs out and get reoriented to it and make them. But I promise you, I'll bring it back down here in the morning and we'll take a look at that prairie box. And we'll take a look at that jig that I've made for the bandsaw to cut those legs. You'll see what I'm talking about tomorrow. But I keep talking about it, so I'm gonna bring it down here. It's raining today. There's a good distance between the shop and the house. Maybe it won't be raining tomorrow. If it stops raining today, I'll get it down here. Let's see what else. I've got a dry sink. You ever heard of a dry sink? It is a table. Let's see if I can't. A dry sink. This is back in the old days, if you know what I mean. The thing about it is, this is the way I got it. I'll round up a picture and see if I can't put it down the corner of what one is supposed to look like. But they hung this over it. And then down in the bottom, this is nothing like it was when it come out. But the glass rollers are real good shape. But the way this thing come out, you'll see when I find the picture, it's got these arms, which I don't have. They come up on the sides. And they're kind of decorative. I'll have to turn that with the bandsaw. And it's a dowel, pretty good sized dowel that runs the connection. You throw your towels over it. Here, you see this kind of a serpentine look? Well, that's the way it was a drawer supposed to go here, and it had that serpentine look to it. And down here, of course, we'll fix all that up, but down here, we will make two doors. The way they come out, a lot of them did. That top drawer is serpentine like that top, and they had two doors down at the bottom, and had pieces come up, you know, it's curling up with a rod, and that's where you hung your wet towels. And this right here come here. This what sits on it, and which I'm gonna have to repair that. This thing is broke, so I got some repairing to do right there. But that was set on top of that. And, you know, back before they had running water and all that kind of stuff, what you do, you bring your water, tote your water in, you put it in that jug right there, and you pour it out, and you wash your hands and have your towels and everything. It's called a dry sink. Some people call them washstands. I've always heard them called dry sinks. So that's coming down the pike. And also, I got my vise. I'm on a Schoberg vise. It's made out of rectangles instead of pipes. And it fights the racking. And I'm going to make me a hand tool working bench. These things are light. I'm going to make one with enough mass that when I'm playing against it, it'll sit there, if you know what I mean. So that's coming down the pike. So be looking for that. So I think that'll do us for now. A lot going on. Just gotta keep hammering, if you know what I mean. But I appreciate y'all watching. Like I say, Mondays I try to bring my project. I try to do it every week. Every now and then I'll have to miss a week or wait till Wednesday to bring it out when it's done. But most of the time I can get it on Monday. It kind of depends on the projects and all like that. I might do a project like that dry sink. That's going to be involved. What I might do is do a video on the drawer, do a video on the doors, making the pieces in the back, and just break it up that way. I don't know. If y'all got any thoughts on it, let me know. And then, because if you've hung with me this long, I really value your thoughts. I know a lot of people, their attention span's about that long. And so if y'all hung with me to this point, y'all are interested, and I would value your opinion. So if I need to break that up or make a long video, so I'm really not sure. I think the longest is less than 40 minutes, I think. Usually I try to keep them 15, 20, 30 minutes, and cause I know their attention span is not that long. But anyway, the ones that made it this far, value your opinion for sure. So let me know what you think, and then what I'll do, I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll take a look at that prairie box tomorrow. And we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the morning.